Listen, you could be with the most loving, available, consistent partner on the planet and still feel alone, still feel unsafe, still be waiting for the other shoe to drop. Here's what we don't want to look at. The problem might not be them. Most of us have spent years, maybe even decades, trying to get our partner to show up in ways that finally make us feel safe, right? More presence, more reassurance, more proof that we can really count on them. And then for a lot of us, even when our partners give it, it doesn't land. Not the way we hoped for, anyways, and not for long. Because safety, real safety, my friends, was never your partner's to give you in the first place. That is what we are disrupting today. And I want to warn you, this one might sting a little bit before it sets you free. Welcome, my friends, to another Catalyst conversation in the relationship revolution, where we disrupt the patterns and programming that you've previously learned about love, power, partnership. Here, we challenge the scripts. We deconstruct what is no longer working, the pieces and places that are keeping you stuck, and we reveal the truths that no one has told you. Here, we are activating a new way of leading relationships consciously, courageously, differently, dare I say, better. And the idea is that so that you can unlock the kinds of relationships that most people only dream about. Now, today we're getting into a conversation about intimacy. And it is a part of our 4-episode series on creating love that feels loving. If you've been following along, you know that we're not just talking about love as a feeling. We're talking about love as a practice, as a way of leading. So far in this series, we have been exploring things like what it actually means to love, what it takes to create a relationship that feels the way that it's supposed to feel in romance and in intimacy. And in today's conversation, we're going somewhere really foundational, somewhere that honestly affects all the other pieces that we've talked about. We're talking about safety, right? Not just the safety that we create for our partner, but also the safety we must first cultivate within ourselves. Because without this foundation of safety, nothing else that we've talked about in this series is going to fully land and create the kind of experience that you're really looking to experience in your relationships, right? So going a little bit backwards from the broad umbrella down to the foundational piece, all of these pieces need to work together at the same time and be attended to simultaneously in our relationships. So this is really the final core piece of the puzzle. Safety isn't a nice to have thing in a relationship. It really is the prerequisite for everything else. For intimacy, for trust, for the kind of love that feels like coming home. Attachment researchers have distilled emotional safety into 2 core questions, and I really like these. So I want to share them with you. So every nervous system, yours, your partner's, is always asking in our relationships, 1, will you be there for me? And 2, are you with me? So these 2 questions are often captured by the acronym ARE. R, accessible, like being accessible to your partner, being responsive to your partner, and being engaged with your partner. When we feel our partner answering yes to those 2 questions and those 3 qualities consistently, then our nervous system can relax, we can open, we can trust, we can love more freely. But where most relationship advice, or especially around safety and attachment, stops short of talking about is that if your own nervous system doesn't have some anchoring into safety itself, you're not going to be able to see your partner's behaviors, positive attachment behaviors, as safe. You're not going to experience them as safe people. You will question it. You will minimize it. You will wait for it to disappear, or you will push against it until it does. This is why understanding and creating safety in your own self is the beginning of creating safety in your relationships. That's why this conversation matters so very much, and we don't talk about it enough. But before we get further into the conversation I want to have today, let me take a moment to introduce myself for any of you who may be new to me or my work. My name is Dr. Jenny Wallig. I am an award-winning relationship mentor, speaker, author. I'm an intuitive guide, and I am a relationship revolutionary, my friends. My mission is to revolutionize relationships and to redefine what it means to love so that we may all experience the true power and possibilities that our relationships have to offer. Nothing, truly nothing, impacts the quality of our lives more than the quality of our relationships. But most people have never learned how to do relationships well, let alone how to lead them consciously and relationally. Much of what we have learned not only doesn't work for us, it also keeps us stuck and unhappy. So I'm here to change that by helping you with some unlearning and some revolutionary relearning. Okay? In these catalyst conversations, my goal isn't just to give you insight. It is to wake something up in you so that you may be part of this revolution too. If you want to help activate and even accelerate this movement, make sure that you comment, that you like and subscribe to Powerful Love's channel on YouTube, that you follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn, share about our work, attend our events. I have a number of free ones, at least 2 free ones a month right now. And of course, do your part in continuing to lead all your relationships with love. If you're looking for more support, feel free to reach out. There are numerous ways that we can support you. I'm going to talk about 2 of them at the end of this episode: the Relationship Revolution community and my Be the One relational leadership initiation. Okay. But I want to plant those seeds now because I want you to know that there are ways that I can support you, and I would be honored and grateful to have that opportunity. Either way, I'm glad that you are here because being here makes you part of this revolution. And we need every single one of us. So, are you ready? Let's get into this. So here's the belief that I want to disrupt today. It's the belief that if my partner would just show up for me consistently, I would feel safe. And while that sounds reasonable, logical, and it is, right? It's partially true. It's an important piece of the puzzle. Certainly your partner's behaviors matter. Their presence matters, their responsiveness matters, but, okay, the paradigm shift is this: your partner cannot be the sole source of your safety or even the foundational source of your safety. They can only be, this is important, so lean in and listen up. They can only be a confirmation of what your nervous system already believes is possible. Let me say that again. Your partner cannot be the source of your safety. They can only confirm what you already, at some level, believe is true. And if deep down you're carrying the belief that people leave, that you can't count on other people, only yourself, that you're too much, or that love fades and doesn't last, then no amount of your partner showing up is going to override that programming. And not for long, anyways. And attachment science has been showing us this for decades, right? It's what relational leaders understand that most people don't. So let's talk a little bit about what it actually takes to build safety in your relationship and in yourself so you can have this foundation that results in love that feels loving. So, number 1, safety in relationships is built through small, consistent behaviors, not grand gestures, okay? I really love this model called HEARTS that researcher and clinician Jessica Ferns created. Hearts, Hearts. And I want to talk you through that briefly because it is a really wonderful lens for understanding how safety is created between two people. It's not necessarily a checklist, right? You don't have to be hitting all these things all the time, but I want you to have this lens to get the big picture of how we're creating safety in our relationships. So very quickly, H stands for here, and that's about being physically present and emotionally present, right? Not just in the same room, but also available, attuned, present in energetics and frequency with your partner. Okay. E is about expressed delight, letting your partner know that they matter, that you're happy to see them regularly with your eyes, your words, your attention. This is especially important with kids. I try to make it a point every morning when I see each one of my children to express delight in seeing them again, especially when they come home from their other parents' house, right? It's like, oh, good morning. I'm so happy to see you. Or, oh, welcome home. I'm so glad that you're back. That is a very conscious and intentional way that I am choosing to express my delight in them, my care for them, that they are important and special. And this I know creates safety. And I don't think that we do this enough, not intentionally, anyways, expressing delight, especially in long-term relationships. So take note of that one. A in the Hearts model is for attunement. Now, this can be a challenge for people, but at the very least, I want you to know what it is so you can start paying attention to it, okay? Attunement is about meeting your partner with genuine curiosity, not to fix or debate, but to understand, to tune in, to find, to get their world and their experience enough that you're on the same page, on the same vibe, on the same frequency, right? Like that you get it. Helping your partner feel like you get it because you do get it, because you're there with them. Okay, that's attunement. R is for rituals and routines. Those are the small repeated moments of connections that say, I choose you. And they say it again and again. They create reliability, they create safety, they create predictability, which our brains love and make our brains feel very safe, right? So this is the goodbye kiss, the check-in text, the end of the day debrief. These are not small things. They are the relationship. I'm working with a client right now, and supporting him in sending and remembering to send, because this is not his skill set, daily text messages to his wife. And he has been astounded at how much just this one little ritual, just checking in, I'm thinking about you, hey babe, I love you, or I'll be home then, I hope you're having a great day. Just remembering to do that, with the occasional flirting and gratitude tied in, has made a world of difference in her responsiveness to him, in her availability to him, in her desire to have sex with him. This is really the only thing that we changed, was starting to make these consistent text messages, and then changing his own frequency and mindset about the relationship. And she doesn't even know that he's doing this work on himself. She's just really experiencing the energy shift, the frequency shift, and this new consistency of a ritual, and it is making a dramatic difference. Okay? Do not minimize the power of rituals. So, T in Hearts. T is for turning towards after conflict. This is huge, my friends, okay? Repair is more important than resolution. Good quality relationships are not created because we never have conflict or injury or disconnect or disruption to our partnership, our love. The best relationships are created because we can trust that repair is going to happen, right? So it's not about preventing these disconnects, this dissonance, right? That's going to happen. It's inevitable. You're going to set yourself up to fail if you think that you're going to somehow find a way to never fuck it up or hurt one another. Sorry. This is real talk. And if you learn the art of repair, of turning toward your partner after conflict, of stitching yourselves back together, and you start to be able to do that consistently, both of you, it is going to train your nervous system to not be so afraid of those moments of disconnection. Those fights are not going to mean this big, horrible things could blow up, this could be the end kind of situation. Those fights are just going to mean this is fucking annoying and I wish we weren't doing this right now, and when is it going to be over? Because I say that because this is kind of the thing my brain says when I'm in a fight with Cal, because you know that the repair is happening. Okay, relationship safety is not destroyed by conflict. Okay, I want to be really clear by that. Like, relationship safety is not destroyed by mess ups unless you're never learning from them. I'll say that. It's just relationship safety is destroyed by failing to come back and repair. That doesn't mean fix it. That doesn't mean resolve everything and now it's no longer a problem. It means repair connection. And I don't have time to go into repair in this conversation. Maybe another one. I don't know if I've done a catalyst conversation on repair before. I certainly do have trainings on it. If you're interested, reach out with the word repair and I'll make sure that I get you something. Nevertheless, that's the T in hearts. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee because it's getting cold. Okay, and then the S. And this is the one, my friends, this is the one I'm really here to talk about. S is for secure attachment with yourself. There it is. That's the one that is going to make all of the other things that your partner may be doing count. That makes the safety that you feel with them possible to feel. I worked with a couple a while back where this was the very issue. And regardless of what one woman did, her wife just couldn't trust it because she hadn't done her own internal safety work. She had trauma she needed to heal. She had beliefs she needed to rewire. She had liberation, like internal liberation work she needed to do. And it was really, really painful for both of them. And ultimately, the relationship ended because the partner who was trying to do everything right and was doing everything right couldn't get any traction, couldn't get her wife to feel safe and secure and believe in her and believe in the relationship, and the emotional drain that it took was too much. And so she realized, this isn't about me or what's wrong in our relationship. This is about my wife, who just needs to do this work herself. And it was no longer aligned for the one partner to stay in it. So like this is super real. And I have another quick story about myself and my own life with Cal. And I like to think that I have a pretty secure attachment system, but don't be fooled, my friends. We all have our shit, okay? We all have our shit we need to work through. And one of my growth areas, I'll say, one of my raw spots has been not being able to rely on other people to follow through and do what they say that they're going to do or do a very good job of it. And I've experienced this in my childhood trying to do group projects in school. I've experienced this in my relationship with my former business partner, which caused a lot of conflict and disappointment and pain and distrust. And part of it is my own need to control. Part of it is my own perfectionism and my own judgment of how things should be done, right? It's got to be done the right way and not this. Okay, so a lot, it's my stuff. But as a life partner and a business partner with Cal, that stuff was showing up. Okay, so he would show up for me and in our business consistently. He'd be present. He's invested, obviously. He does a lot of things, and he does a lot of things right. And yet, there are times in our work, times when we're together, where he would drop the ball because he's human. And when that would happen, when he would forget something or not be fully on board with something, my nervous system would light up like a freaking fire alarm. Okay. Not, oh, that's so frustrating. We need to work through this, but like full on activation, as in, I can't count on him. He's not really there for me. This business is never going to make it. I'm going to have to break up with him as a business partner or as a life partner. I have to do everything by myself. I'm so alone in this. This is so heavy. It's so much. I mean, whew, crazy brain. Okay. And here's what I have to face and still have to work through sometimes, right? This isn't about Calvin and what he's doing or not doing. This is a story that was written long before he showed up. And my nervous system has had to learn to understand him differently so that I don't have this big reaction, right? I had to make a decision that despite the evidence I was paying attention to, the evidence I had from the past, right? There was plenty of evidence I could look at to the contrary with Cal. And that one misstep, that one dropped ball didn't need to erase the 100 ways he showed up before that. But that's what my nervous system was doing, okay? I had to decide to settle that. And that's been taking some work. But that's what an unhealed nervous system does, right? It doesn't track the pattern. It doesn't pay attention to what's working. It tracks the threat. It pays attention to what's not working. So if we're not doing this work, we are going to misread our partner's humanness as abandonment or judgment. Let me say that again, because I think this is an important one and I stumbled through it. If we're not doing our work to create safety in our own nervous system, we will misread our partner's humanness, their humanity, as either evidence of their abandonment or evidence of their judgment. But when you have done the work of healing, then you're not even going to read it like that in the first place, right? You don't have to revise like I've had to do. This is the work, friends, and it begins with you. I think there's one more point I want to make, and it's this. Anchoring in your own safety doesn't mean that you're broken, and it doesn't mean that you're selfish, and it doesn't mean that you are not caring about the relationship because you want to focus on really deepening this piece. In fact, anchoring in your own safety is the most relational thing that you can do because it is, again, the prerequisite for having safety. And your partner doesn't want to be your life raft through all things potentially insecurity or threat activating. Okay. So when we do the work of coming home to ourselves and creating this secure internal base, then we're able to show up differently in our relationship. We stop needing our partner to perform safety, to be our life raft, like I said, right? In order for us to open up or settle down, or we stop needing them to prove their love to us. We stop misreading their humanness. We stop engaging in ways that either push them away or shut us down. Because we're not operating from a place of threat. We're operating a place from security. And now you get to become someone who can receive love. You hear that? You can trust the ARE, three fingers, right? Availability, responsiveness, engagement that you're being offered. And paradoxically, you become far more capable of offering it back. This is the shift from seeking safety to being safe, from looking out there to coming home in here. Now, when you start to integrate this, and I've talked a little bit about this, but I want to be really clear about what's possible when you start to do this. You're going to stop living in the question of whether you and your partner are okay, whether they will be there for you, whether they love you enough, whether you're enough, because you're going to be there for you first. You're going to know you're enough here first, okay? You get to stop misinterpreting their humanness as evidence of their or your unworthiness, which allows you to stop bracing for things and to stop testing to see if they're really going to show up. And love can finally start feeling the way that it always should have, right? Safe, steady, real. Not because you finally found the right person or because your person has somehow changed. It is because you have finally found yourself. Now, I want to take a moment to let you know that if something here is landing for you, now is the time to move toward what is going to support you in becoming the anchored, loving, safe, receptive, and relationally skillful person that you desire to be. And that's the kind of work that we do inside of my programs. And I want to tell you about two of them. First is the Relationship Revolution community. This is our membership space. It's only $147 a month. You can cancel anytime, so come in and give it a try. Here we do ongoing teaching, support, and activations that take what we're talking about and learning about here in these Catalyst conversations, start to apply it to our lives. Week by week, day by day, with a container of support and accountability. We've got monthly community meetings, behind the scene looks at how Cal and I are applying this, additional resources and trainings. And it's a beautiful place to stay in your devotion to ongoing growth, learning, and evolution. If you want to go deeper and you know that something needs to change, and change in a big way, in a meaningful way, in a lasting way, and change quickly, then you're ready for my Be the One relational leadership initiation. This is a 6-week experience. I don't even want to call it a program. This is a 6-week experience with me where we're going to interrupt your patterns, rebuild from the inside out, come home to yourself, identify what it is like that you need, and move through the steps that it's going to take to get you the change that you want, so you can start showing up in your relationship in a way that creates movement. The full investment for the Be the One experience is $2,000. And we will go where you need to go, wherever that is, so that whatever happens next in your relationship gets to happen from power, clarity, and sovereign choice. I got both links in the description or the caption of this live stream. If you want to talk it through before you decide, message me directly. I'm here. Know that either way, you don't have to keep seeking safety outside yourself, my friend. You just have to be willing to lead. Starting with you, starting now, whatever way you need most. So before I go, I want to invite you to drop a fire emoji if this opened something up in you. And I would love to hear what landed, what shifted, or what are you pushing against? Because resistance is welcome here too. It usually means we're touching on something real. Drop that in the comments. I'm going to read every one of them, and I'm probably going to reply to every one of them as well. I will see you next month for a new theme. I haven't decided what it is yet, but we're getting into a new month next Friday, and I will be here every Friday. I hope to see you live on another Catalyst conversation every Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Until then, my friends, keep leading with love.